Kuddaka Nikaya, the Minor Discourses, Theragāthā, Verses of the Arahant Bhikkhus. Cuddasakanipāta, the Book of 14 Verses. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theragāthā 14.1 Kadiravaniya Revata Thera. Verses of the Venerable Kadiravaniya Revata. From the moment I went forth, as I left behind me the security of the household life, no more a layperson, no longer having a home to go to, I don't recall a single thought that has ever occurred to my mind, where I consciously schemed or planned any kind of non-holy thought, nor tolerating a single aversive or hateful sentiment of any sort that lacked nobility to ever linger in me. Thoughts like, may these evil doers who've hurt me get what they deserve. May they be punished severely, butchered like animals, and be killed. No, not a single aversive or hateful sentiment of any sort that lacked nobility has ever found any roots in me. All this long while, since I left the lay life behind, the moment I went forth. What I have been filled with, however, all this time, has been the overwhelming flood of metta in my heart. By directly knowing and experiencing loving kindness in its purest form, that is now cultivated and matured fully within me. Full to the brim, it knows no bounds or limits, for it truly is boundless in magnitude. This I've cultivated gradually and step by step, while carefully adhering to the instructions given to me by my teacher, the Buddha himself. I'm a loving friend to all beings. I'm that caring and considerate fellow traveler to all. My heart constantly overflows with compassion towards all kinds of beings, for I dwell with loving kindness constantly, enjoying the delight of harming no one at all. With a heart that's deeply gladdened, stable in its unshakable imperturbability, I continuously keep cultivating the Brahma-viharas within me, which I share with this evil world and its people, that neither seeks to cultivate it nor has any clues about it. The moment one gives up his refuge upon and slave to thinking, at that very moment, that true disciple of the Buddha immediately drops into the noble, soothing silence, delightedly living in that blissful state of peace. In the same way that a mountain made of solid rock all the way to its peak stands unmoved without a single tremor running through it, so does that bhikkhu, who, having destroyed all delusion from his heart, stands firmly grounded like never before, calm and unmoved with certainty unmatched, as his heart is finally and completely freed from all agitation once and for all. For that person, who is pure in his heart and mind, relentlessly engaged in living a life of purity, even the possibility of committing the tiniest error, weighing no more than a hair tip, would be so grave and unthinkable as it would be massively big as a heavy, impending cloud that menacingly looms overhead. Just like a mighty fortress built on the kingdom's frontier is fully guarded from potential threats and at all times, both inside and out, with soldiers always on alert to protect the kingdom from any possible invasion. In the same manner, you should stay on guard and keep watch as to what's coming in and what's going out, not letting a single moment or thought slip by you unnoticed. And now, I neither long for death to come to me, nor is there even the slightest thought to somehow extend this life. I am simply waiting for my time, whenever it arrives, just like a hired worker, who, having completed his job, now patiently awaits to get paid his wage. Neither longing for death to come to me, nor for my life to somehow go on. I simply am waiting for my time, whenever that may come, with my full awareness fully present, wherever I may be, as I live each and every moment with mindful serenity. I have faithfully attended on and personally served the great teacher, and now truly completed the task, according to the Blessed One's dispensation. I have finally put down the heavy burden which I carried, and now the path to further rebirth is utterly destroyed for me. For I pulled out and destroyed the very roots of re-becoming. The main reason for which I went forth is now fulfilled, because I have attained to that goal supreme, that first led me from home life into homelessness. Finally, I have truly obliterated all the fetters that bind. Press on with diligence as you strive on forward, without taking a time out. This was the instruction given to me, which I now pass on to you, too. So there you go. I did what I knew was my mission to accomplish. A conqueror, I now stand here, having attained full awakening and liberated in every way. These were the verses spoken by the Venerable Kadīravānija Revata. Theragāthā 14.2 Godatta Thera. Verses of the Venerable Godatta. Just as a strong and well-bred, thoroughbred buffalo, securely tied with a yoke, quietly pulls the heavy load behind it, even though being pulled and even getting beaten down, ruthlessly pushed and pressed beyond any limits. With its gaze lowered, it continues hauling its burden, neither breaking its bonds nor trying to get rid of the yoke it carries. In just the same manner, the ones who carry within them wisdom that knows no bounds, much like the vast oceans with their limitless waters, know not how to turn and despise those who mean them harm, nor do they sting or bite those who seek their demise. This itself is the Dhamma taught and lived by the noblest of beings. Meanwhile, time keeps yanking at people this way and that, unable to escape getting stuck in the mud of samsara in this or that realm. As these generations, along with their offspring, sooner than later, find themselves having to face suffering yet again, wherever they may find themselves, as they continue to grieve, whether here or there. Becoming delighted by pleasurable things they experience, while running away from those that cause pain and discomfort. The fools keep getting slapped around between these two extremes, totally oblivious of what's really happening to them, not seeing how things really come to be, and their own relationship to perpetuating the torment they subject themselves to. Those, however, who, although experiencing the contrast amid both sorrow and happiness, choose to hold their ground instead, while remaining fully alert and attentive to the seamstress that secretly hides in the middle between those two extremes. Such beings are the ones, after all, who stand like pillars made of solid rock, unshaken by all that keeps taking place in and around them, neither getting excited nor disheartened by whatever it is that they experience, whether it be gaining or losing, attaining to fame and honor, or losing one's reputation and fame entirely, or in being praised and applauded, or subjected to harsh criticism and blame, or whether in enjoying pleasure or suffering much pain. All that he faces in such circumstances, none of these could grab hold of his heart, for to him they are nothing more than a mere tiny droplet of dew, hanging precariously at the very tip of a lotus petal, which is why such wise men are truly happy, always victorious, untouched, and unconquered wherever they may be. Although the loss one experiences may be fair and not be the result of evil, whereas the gain one makes may not be just, hence unfairly obtained. However, between these two, to be losing what one values as a result of a fair outcome is always much better than the gaining of that which is obtained unfairly, for it would be the outcome of sneaky conniving. Similarly, one may be famous and even praised despite being unwise and stupid, whereas another may be blamed, criticized, or regarded with disdain for being truly wise. However, between these two, to be blamed, criticized, or regarded with disdain for being wise and discerning is always much better than becoming famous and highly praised despite one's factual lack in wisdom. One may receive praise from fools and idiots, or one may be blamed and chastised by those who truly know and understand. However, the criticism received from the discerning is always preferred over the other, for it is much better than the meaningless praise and accolades one may receive from fools who neither know the truth themselves nor have the ability to recognize or acknowledge it in any genuine way. By the same token, one may taste some happiness through sensual pleasures, or one may put himself through the pain and discomfort that may result from renunciation and from being alone. However, that pain one experiences as a result of his restrained and secluded lifestyle is still much better and always preferred over the temporary and fickle happiness that one keeps running after by indulging in sensual pleasures. So, there is such a thing as living one's life without following the Dhamma and its noble and universally accepted values of virtue. And there is death itself that follows a noble life, that is lived with the Dhamma and its universally accepted values of virtue. Among these two, the death that comes at the end of a life that's been lived according to the Dhamma will always be better than a life that's wasted by having lived without it and its universally accepted values of virtue. For this reason, the ones who have truly left behind both lusting and hating carry on from this existence to another, with their hearts being light and lifted. Truly at peace, they go through existence without being smudged or even touched, as there's nothing left for them to be emotionally tied to or to declare, "This is my beloved," or "That is my enemy." And by having fully developed the 7 factors of awakening, the 5 spiritual faculties, and perfected them into 5 spiritual powers, one has reached indeed the supreme peace, that pure state beyond all contaminants that are all now destroyed. Therefore, the person is truly extinguished while alive through full awakening. These were the verses spoken by the Venerable Godatta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.